And just like that, the Packers season is officially over. Losing to the Detroit Lions in Week 18, 20-16, falling to 8-9 on a very, very ugly season. It came down to this game. If the Packers were to win this game after winning 4 straight, they would have ran into the playoffs and went on to face San Francisco next week. But that's just not the case. When it mattered the most in this 2022 to 2023 season, the Packers just didn't put up. And I first want to give credit to the Detroit Lions. Honestly, I was more worried that the fact that they were eliminated because they played with nothing to lose, and that proved very true at the end there. You know, Dan Campbell with the cojones running that hook and ladder on 2nd and 17, a drive the Packers needed to stop the Lions in order to potentially get the ball back. And you run something like that, that's why I was more scared of the Lions than the fact that they were eliminated, because they had nothing to lose. Why not run that play? Something the Packers would never run in a million years. The Lions executed it, made it a more manageable 3rd down, went for it on 4th again, nothing to lose, throws a quick stop route, gets the 1st down, ending the Packers season. So credit to the Detroit Lions, but man, I got a lot to talk about with this Green Bay Packers football team. Like I said, I give credit to the Lions, but they really, really beat themselves tonight. As I said, when it came down to it, this Packers team just folded. And mainly that was on the offense tonight. I thought the defense played pretty well. Yeah, the Lions scored 20 points, but it wasn't always on the defense. And that's kind of a running theme this year. And I say it time and time again. I feel like it's never a consistent team with the Green Bay Packers. Last week was the one time the entire year that it was all 3 phases consistent. It's either A, and this goes by a drive-by-drive basis. It's not just an entire game. A lot of time it is, but it also is a drive-by-drive basis. The offense does go to drive. That means the next drive the defense is going to let up an easy touchdown. And vice versa. The defense gets a 3 and out. Well, guess what? The offense is not doing much. And that was mainly the case tonight. The defense really shut down this Lions offense until the end, when the Lions made it work with the shot play to Khalif Raymond there, and then running the ball. I mean, to start the game, the Packers' run defense looked ferocious. They were stopping the Lions 1 yard, even at the line of scrimmage, sometimes behind the line of scrimmage. But to end the game, they could not tackle. And I love Jamal Williams, but he pretty much ended this Packers season and kept them out of the playoffs. Jared Goff, I mean, 23 of 34, 224 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, an 85.9 rating. Jared Goff did wonderful in terms of being a game manager, taking the snaps, not getting sacked, not turning over the ball, and handing the ball off to Jamal Williams and DeAndre Swift and throwing quick passes to his receivers when it mattered. So the Packers defense, like I said, I thought they played well. Just down the end there, couldn't put it together. Jamal Williams finished 16 carries, 72 yards, a 4.5 average, 2 touchdowns, because whenever the Lions are on the goal line, you know they're handing it to Jamal Williams. But for some reason, the Packers can't get that through their head. There's so many times in this game where the Lions would line up, and I knew exactly what they're doing. There was a 4th and 2 where Jair played way back off coverage. It's a 4th and 2, man. They're not going to be throwing a 9 route on you. They're going to be throwing a 1. It's going to be a direct flat route. And that's exactly what it was, and it was an easy 1st down. So sometimes this defense plays great, and then sometimes just complete, utter failure. Not to mention the whole Quay Walker situation. After what just went down last week with Damar Hamlin, and the things these trainers go through, pretty much saving a guy's life on the field, you know, to go and push a trainer, it's just disgusting. And this is the 2nd time Quay Walker's been ejected, first of which he pushed a practice squad player on the sideline earlier in the year. I forget what game it was. And then to do this, man. It's like, it's not like a player pushed you or is talking crap to you and you kind of shove him back. It's a trainer. He's trying to help DeAndre Swift, who just got forearmed in the head by Jerron Reed. Why are you pushing a trainer? Not that that lost the game, but it definitely put the Lions in better position and they ended up scoring. Maybe the Packers hold them to a field goal there if that doesn't happen, because it would have been 3rd down there. But obviously just a boneheaded play by Quay Walker. Was playing an excellent game up until that point. But again, just boneheaded plays by the offense and the defense as well. And speaking of the offense, you know, you go into this game, I think the Detroit Lions are bottom 5 in every single rushing category: rushing yards, rushing touchdowns, yards per carry, first down, rush percentage, all of which they're bottom 5. Some of those categories, they're the worst in the NFL. And you go into this game and you're like, all right, the Packers' way to win is running the football. That is their new identity on offense. And they did an awful job at running the football. Aaron Jones, 12 of 48, probably his worst game on the year considering the fumble. I mean, I feel like this has happened so much as Packers fans where they have a lead, they're driving against the opposing team, going down to maybe take a 2-score lead, and they fumble the ball. It happened in the playoffs with Mercedes Lewis, Aaron Ripkowski, I think Aaron Jones another game. It's happened so often, and it's such a momentum killer. And I love Aaron Jones, but man, he's tied for second with the most fumbles in the NFL as a running back. That's got to get fixed up. He only had 12 carries for 48 yards, a 4.0 average. A.J. Dillon, 9 for 33, a 3.7 average. Overall, the Green Bay Packers, 28 carries, 103 yards, and a measly 3.7 yards per carry against an absolutely putrid run defense. So again, credit to the Lions' defensive line. They played a hell of a game. As for the passing offense, just nothing really going. Aaron Rodgers just always going to the sideline against a defense that was running cover 2 man and cover 2 zone pretty much 95% of the time. It makes no sense to me. Unless you're fitting it right in between the corner and the safety, which he did on his 2 passes that were more than 10 yards, that's fine, that works. But that's seldom to where you can just go up the middle against a cover 2. And that's just not something that Aaron Rodgers did in this game, and mainly all season. It seemed like he was always striving to throw outside the numbers, and I don't understand why, when a lot of the time I think the middle would be open. He finished 17 of 27, 205 yards, a touchdown, and interception because this dude just loves throwing to Kirby Joseph. That's Kirby Joseph's third interception on Aaron Rodgers as a rookie. That has definitely never happened. I don't even have to fact check that. Aaron Rodgers, 83.1 quarterback rating. And again, just didn't have a good game. When it mattered most, the Lions brought 7 on pressure, and he throws double coverage, a horrible throw up the right sideline to Christian Watson. And Kirby Joseph again with the interception, where there was 2 other receivers in single coverage, one an in-breaking route by Allen Lazard. Again, yeah, he has pressure in his face, but you throw to the only receiver that was double covered in that situation. And yeah, Rodgers had a tough game, but there was also other players not helping him, and that's kind of been the case all year as well. Romeo Doubs with multiple drops, a couple throws that were absolute dimes by Aaron Rodgers, and Romeo Doubs with a couple drops, A.J. Dillon with a drop, and multiple were drive killers. And, who knows? If the Packers don't bite themselves in the foot that way with the drops and the fumble, we're probably looking at them going into the playoffs, going to San Francisco next week. Nice game from Christian Watson, nonetheless. 5 receptions, 104 yards, the long of 45 where he made that absolutely ridiculous catch up the right sideline while getting interfered with. Allen Lazard, 441, and of course the touchdown on that crosser there. Robert Tonyan, 3 of 29, had a really nice corner route where he mossed the defender. Aaron Jones, 3 of 20. Randall Cobb, 2 of 11. A.J. Dillon, no catches. Romeo Doubs, no catches. And they had no catches and 5 total targets. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers threw poorly to A.J. Dillon a couple times, but there was definitely a lot of drops within those 5. And it's really just a shame. Now, would this Green Bay team go into San Francisco and beat them? Probably not, by the way we saw them play tonight. But if Minnesota, say, was the last game and they played like they did last week to get into the playoffs, you would have been like, all right, they definitely have a chance to play good against the 49ers and potentially win. But with the way they played tonight, they most likely would not have won in San Fran next week. But it is still a shame to put together a run after 4-8, pretty much ruled out of the playoffs, a 2% chance, bring it all the way, get a lot of favors from around the league, bring it all the way to Week 18 to a situation where you win and you're in, and you're playing a team that's eliminated from the playoffs, an 8-8 football team with a bad defense in your home stadium with a quarterback that doesn't play good in the cold, is wearing 2 gloves, and you lose. So at that point, you don't deserve to be in the playoffs, and that's exactly what happened. This offseason is going to be pretty wild. What they do with Aaron Rodgers, what they do with Jordan Love, what they do with impending free agents, Adrian Amos, Allen Lazard, Robert Tonyan, there's more to name, definitely Keyshawn Nixon, there's definitely a lot there. I'm really going to dive down into all that on this channel. So stay tuned on this channel. This may be the end of the Packers season, but it is definitely not the end of Packers analysis, because now we enter into draft season, which I really dive into on this channel. I believe right now the Packers might have the 15th pick, so right there in the middle of the pack. The silver lining, maybe Joe Barry is fired. I thought he really pulled it together these last few games. but it didn't matter. The Packers didn't make the playoffs, and, you know, their season is over. I would hope Jim Leonard could be the next defensive coordinator. I think that might be a pipe dream, although the Packers tried to hire him a couple of years ago, and he stayed at Wisconsin. That's not the case anymore. So, like I said, silver lining, maybe the Packers move on from Joe Barry. Maybe they do something different on offense, because Adam Stenavich, who knows if that's his fault, why the offense was so stagnant and bad in the red zone. Maybe they bring back Nathaniel Hackett. There's going to be a lot of weird turnaround, I think, this offseason, and that much I am excited for. The whole Jordan Love, is he going to want to stay as a backup for another year? They're obviously not going to accept his fifth-year option because it's an absolutely ridiculous cap hit for someone that's not going to play. Will Aaron Rodgers just end up retiring? Who knows? You know, that could definitely happen. He did just sign a big deal, but I don't see them either trading or cutting him. It just makes no contractual sense, but a retirement could definitely happen. What will happen? It's anyone's best guess. Personally, I think Aaron Rodgers comes back for one more year. The Packers try to re-sign as many players as they can, and they go back at it for another chance to make a run. But yeah, just a really upsetting way to end the season, but I guess I would rather it be against the Lions than, say, the Vikings or the 49ers in the playoffs, because I cannot stand losing to those teams. And hey, you know, like I said, credit to the Lions. You ended the Packers season. Both teams are out of the playoffs now, so it doesn't really matter for y'all, but hey, credit to the Lions. But that about does it for this video. Like I said, there'll be a lot of diving into the offseason on this channel, so if you are new here, go down, click that subscribe button, leave a like on the video, and turn on post notifications. I appreciate all the support over this really wild season, but nonetheless, I appreciate everyone coming by, watching the videos, leaving likes, subscribing, and also being a part of my live streams. But I'll catch you all in the next one. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Pack Go.